Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Back once again, another video. Today we're talking about conservation about Gavin Newland, the idiot himself, the governor of California, has made the most dumbest fucking thing in my life. I'm gonna read this to you guys. Gavin Newscum. This is his name, by the way. My opinion. A liar manipulator just created a reparation bureau in the state that never had slavery. For those who are wondering about slavery, California never had slavery. I think only the South side had slavery, but California did not. California entered the Union as a free state in 1850. No slaves, no plantation, no reason. Yet Newscom just signed a SB 51 no 518 to launch the Bureau for descendant of American slavery using millions of taxpayer money while California is sinking in $7 billion into debt. Some activists say watered down regulation based on reparation into vague community harm payouts. California's broke, families are leaving, but Newscom keeps chasing headlines. You can't rewrite history, but try to pander it off. So this is the article right here. Panther in charge. Newscom created a reparation office in the state that never had slavery. And this law came out a couple of days ago, and people don't enjoy it. Yeah, this is an AI video, by the way. It's funny how the Democrats are now pushing this, yet at the same time they had slaves, right? They had some slaves as well. Democrats had slaves physically. There's a video down here talking about it. I'll show you about this, but this is my opinion. First of all, Democrats had slaves. They were the first, had slaves, multiple. And and if this isn't pushing about how white people had slaves, why not those who were black people did have slaves. Black people did have slaves. So what about them? Should we should the black slave owners should pay the descendants of black slaves? Now how would that make sense? But yeah, this is something will not work. First of all, the state doesn't have any slaves. Never had. It stated right here, entered the Union as a free state in 1850. No slaves, no plantation, no reason. And where I'm at, Alabama, there were slaves. I'm pretty sure there's like a museum about it. And second thing, this is going to make them more in debt. This is saying using millions of dollars of taxpayer money while California is sinking in $7 billion into debt. That will not. This will make the economy in California even worse. And third of all, this is just plain old retardedness right here. For the past few days, a few weeks, Gavin Newscom has been trying his best to get in the as this good guy in the media as much as possible, but even then he's causing so many problems. So this is an article. Yeah, this is an AI. Yeah, Democrats. I what the Democrats thinks I owe them. Yeah, the Democrats did have slaves back then. I think. Yeah, they had slaves, a lot of slaves.
If you are Asian and you leave the Democrats, well, you're just, it's okay to leave the Democrats unless you are black. If you are Asian and you leave the Democrats, well, you're just the Asian person who left the Democrats. If you're white and you decide to leave the Democrats, well, you just are a white person who decided to leave the Democrats. But if you are black and you leave the Democrats, you are considered a sellout. And let me explain why. The Democrats have always owned black people. During
This is true. This is very true. This is one of the main things the Democrats don't like bringing it up. Same with the leftists. They don't want to bring up that they had slaves. This is one of the things.
slavery times, they owned black people physically.
Oh
Now they
yes.
own black people politically.
Absolutely.
mentally. So when you
Mostly mentally.
say you are leaving the Democrats and you black, oh my goodness. In their mind, they are missing merchandise. Their inventory is
No, don't take away my slaves. No, don't take away my slaves. That's pretty much saying.
low. In other words, sold out.
Absolutely. That's so true. What's the comment saying? Hold up. If I can press the video. No, wrong one. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is true, but she missed the part if white people leave the Democrats, they're called fascists, Nazis, racists, traitors to their country. It's funny how the Democrats, when white people leave, they do call them that, but at the same time, they're doing everything, they're acting like Nazis at this point. Yeah, this is an article right here. In 1850, the enslaved slavery of indigenous people in California was widespread and not targeted specifically tribes included. The state government of 1850 acted the government and protection of the Indian legally of a system of forced labor and indigenous service, which devastated the native communities through the state. Instead of focusing on the specific tribe, the law created merchandise that makes it made it legally sorry for white settlers to capture and exploit any indigenous people they occur. All indigenous communities in the state were vulnerable to the system, making a system of this enslavement during an 1850 Indian Act. Instead of children, this act allows to legally obtain of indigenous children to white settlers. Settlers will frequently kidnap children from their parents, sell them to servitude, which they function as slavery. Yeah, they don't talk about that. So only Native Americans will receive reparation. There's a lot more angry folks. Also, I never knew this. This is horrible. Yeah, this is something they will not to do. This is something they're willing to cover it up. They don't want to talk about it. They want to push all that aside. All of these Native American practices humanitarian slaves before 1492 California. Okay, look at my opinion. Okay, yeah. So what about them? Then they're like, aren't they like Irish people were enslaved? I'm pretty sure. Yes, they were slaves. Yeah. So this is something what they do. It's already paid. Die slavery to end slavery. Absolutely. And white people that joined the slave, make sure that they slaves ended. White people and black people tried their best to end slaves in civil war. Evil man will burn his own nation to the ground to rule over the ashes. Yeah, that's pretty much true. And this is the guy who's trying to campaign for becoming president in 2028. I hope it doesn't happen. But yeah, though, this is something I want to share, something that I want to talk about. There's another one I'm gonna upload, another video about him again. How yay. Anyways, that's it. Thank you so much for watching the video. I'll make another video of this. There's another video. There's another article I watch and want to make a video about. So I'm gonna make a video about that. And that's it. Really, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.